Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Should You Play, where I show you some spoiler-free gameplay and give you my thoughts after playing new games for a few hours, while also highlighting and checking out at least one of the PlayStation Plus games for each month. In this video I'm playing one of the November 2025 PlayStation Plus games, EA Sports WRC, the rally racing game that came out in 2023. I've said it before and I'll say it every time for the sake of disclosure, but I'm generally not a fan of racing games. That's not a slight against the genre though, it's just not a game style that's really for me. That said, I do think that I have some valid complaints about this game, even if it does have some redeeming gameplay, so let's just talk about it.
3, 2, 1, go.
EA Sports WRC offers a handful of different modes to choose from. Career Mode X is the game's story mode, letting you create and manage a rally team, customize your cars, and compete across multiple seasons. Championship Mode allows you to complete a full WRC season, while Moment serves as a daily challenge mode where you can take on historical scenarios or highlights from current seasons. You've also got Clubs, which lets you compete in community championships at designated times, but know that you'll need an EA account to access it. Meanwhile, Quick Play lets you jump straight into solo races or online matches, and Time Trial is exactly what it sounds like, letting you beat specific times against the clock. Additionally, Rally School acts as a tutorial hub where you can test your skills, while Builder and Customization lets you create your own cars and tweak your driver and team.
You have a load of options you can choose from.
For most players, I imagine Career and Quick Play will take up the bulk of time between all of the modes, but personally I didn't find the Career mode to be all that interesting. There's some light staff management and customization to do, but the off-track elements feel pretty shallow, especially compared to the Career modes and other racing and sports titles. If you're not familiar with rally racing already, it's a little bit different from traditional racing, where instead of competing on closed tracks against a group of racers all at once, rally racing involves timed runs on more public roads where precision, control, and teamwork between the driver and the navigator is crucial.
A great start for this team.
The good news is that EA Sports WRC is fairly accessible to newcomers though. If you've played any racing game before, you'll pick up the basics quickly enough, and there's also a solid selection of cars with a decent amount of variety to keep things interesting in the long term. The driving physics feel good overall, maybe a little floatier than something like Dirt Rally 2.0, but it's still satisfying once you get into the rhythm of it. The game also simulates realistic weight transfer and traction, so you'll constantly have to respect your corners and carefully manage your speed to avoid sliding off the road or crashing. If you're used to the faster pace of racers like Need for Speed or more arcadey games like Mario Kart, this one will probably feel a lot slower, but just know that that's by design. You can also choose from multiple camera views while driving, though I personally prefer the above the car angle. I know a lot of players love the cockpit view, but I can't say I enjoy racing with 3/4 of my screen obscured by the vehicle's interior, so it's all going to come down to personal preference.
Driving a rally car for the first time can be a daunting experience for anyone.
The track designs are both impressive and exhausting, as some of these courses can stretch over 18 in-game miles and take up to 10 minutes to complete, which can definitely test your focus.
Get used to it, and you'll be fine.
You'll also notice that there's no on-screen map. Instead, you rely entirely on your co-driver's callouts for things like sharp left ahead or slight right turn now.
Easy right to the crest, to slight left.
It's authentic to real-life rally racing, but the callouts sometimes come too early or too late, leading to some frustrating crashes, and after a while, the dialogue does start to sound repetitive too, with the same handful of lines repeating every few seconds.
Medium left, don't cut. And easy right.
Outside of the racing itself, I found most of the other gameplay systems to be functional, but a little forgettable. They add a little bit of flavor, but they're not what's going to keep me coming back, and if I were to stick with the game in the long term, it would probably be for the offline runs or online quick play, not the career grind. EA Sports WRC also offers online multiplayer. You can create public or private lobbies, browse existing ones, or just jump straight into a match through quick play. The game also supports crossplay, which is all great in theory, but the actual online experience is unfortunately another story. I sat in 17 different lobbies for over 10 minutes each, just waiting for matches to start, since every player has to manually mark themselves as ready before a race can begin. Even if one person doesn't hit that ready button, the match doesn't move forward, so I ended up spending more time waiting in lobbies than I did actually playing the game. You can also participate in online matches through the club game mode, which does require an EA account to get into, but then you can play through with specific groups to break through the random matchmaking.
Now, for the rest of the season.
When you do finally get into a race though, the multiplayer does admittedly feel kinda lonely. Rally racing happens with a single car on the track at a time in real life, so you don't actually see your opponents in the game, just their names and positions on the side of the screen. Voice chat is also on by default, so you can technically talk with other racers, but it can be turned off if you'd rather not listen to random background chatter while you drive. Overall, the game's multiplayer is a bit of a frustrating experience that could really use a tweak to their lobby system to make it a more fluid experience. Now, if I'm being honest, EA Sports WRC's graphics are a bit of a letdown, especially considering it's a current-gen only release. The shadows are often jagged, the car models and environments look last-gen quality, and the human character models are really stiff and basic looking. Even simple details like reflections in the side view mirrors and surface textures on the road look fairly flat. The tracks themselves also start to blur together after a while, as most of them are just asphalt, gravel, or snow variants, and honestly, the snow tracks often just look like dirt tracks with a white filter over them. Water effects, rain, and splashes are all serviceable but underwhelming, and the weather seems to have minimal effect on handling beyond impacting your visibility, so while it mostly looks okay, it doesn't add much gameplay-wise. The audio design is one of the highlights though. The car sounds, road feedback, and even the menu music are all well put together, and the haptic feedback in the PS5 controller is solid. I just think that this game doesn't look nearly as good as it could, especially when compared to other racers like Hot Pursuit Remastered or even Drive Club, and I would have liked to have seen a bit more polish to this aspect of the game. EA Sports WRC runs technically well as of 2025, as opposed to when the game launched and had lots of issues with stuttering and screen tearing during races, though load times are still a bit longer than you'd expect them to be. If I were to be really critical, the biggest issues I ran into were texture pop-ins, a bit of tearing in the customization menus, and foliage clipping through vehicles whenever you drifted off-road. It's nothing game-breaking by any means, but they are things that I noticed, so I think it's fair to mention them. As far as racing games go, EA Sports WRC might honestly be one of my least favorites.
So, you want to be the World Rally Champion, eh?
That's not to say it's unplayable, because it's far from it, but even as someone who's not a big racing game fan, I've played other titles that offer more polish, personality, and overall enjoyment, including Dirt Rally 2.0.
Well, we're glad you've agreed to join the team.
If you're a rally racing enthusiast, you'll probably get more out of this than I did, as there's a solid foundation here, and when the gameplay works, it does feel good, but between the repetitive environments, underwhelming graphics, and painfully slow multiplayer lobbies, I don't think that there's much here to keep less dedicated players or newcomers hooked. I do think that there's a good driving game buried somewhere in EA Sports WRC, but right now, it just feels subpar compared to its competitors, even within the rally racing subgenre.
But you've got potential.
As always though, this is just my opinion. Whether you're just putting together your custom vehicle, or you're already racing your way to victory, let me know in the comments what you think of EA Sports WRC.
We hope you enjoy this fresh challenge within EA Sports WRC.
Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.
Left, don't cut. Medium left, cut. And medium right. Slowing, easy right into medium left. Medium right. And medium left.